Lebo me, lebo re. Molo, unjani. Goeiemorgen. Program Director, Deputy Minister of Energy, Ambassador Tembisile Majola, Deputy Minister of Mineral Resources, my homeboy, Mr. Godfrey Oliphant, thank you for being here. The Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs from Mpumalanga, the Acting Director General, managers, senior managers for the Department of Energy, the Chairperson of the SABC, Chairperson of Transnet. There's no such thing as a free breakfast, so you have to remember who to acknowledge and who to thank. You know, you may go knocking on that door again. So don't burn your bridges today. Be very nice to Transnet. The editor of The New Age and the staff of The New Age, thank you very much for this wonderful platform. Chairpersons and CEOs of our state-owned entities within the energy sector, stakeholders, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. When the Lord wanted energy, he simply said, "Let there be light." Unfortunately, I am not Jesus, and I'm also not the deputy Jesus. So if we need and we want energy as a country, we need you all as stakeholders. We cannot do this alone. We need partners, and we need the entire country to come to the party. So welcome to Team Energy, and I hope you are equally energized after this breakfast. We gathered that just very soon after the debate of the President, and you would have noticed that we have our marching orders, we have been implored to move rapidly and with speed. The President has enjoined us to do whatever is possible to unlock economic growth by eliminating the impediments to such growth. In this portfolio, we are determined to dispense with some of the matters that have been left hanging for too long. We are here to build on the shoulders of the men and women who work tirelessly to keep the lights on. It is a rare opportunity for our country's social-political landscape to rally around a single objective. And that single objective has brought all political parties together, and that's the National Development Plan. We are being told that we do not have the energy to implement the National Development Plan. But the National Development Plan is ours. We own it as a country. All political parties own it, and that is good. In a country which is so divided, which has a history of division, our energy plan in the National Development Plan should be uniting us. Our specific concerns as stakeholders would be really listened to. We want to listen to our stakeholders. And to do this, we would like to appoint a team of experts who could advise the Deputy Minister and I on the specific matters of energy. We want to accelerate the pace of independent power producers, and we will make further announcements later in the year. Ours is not to make announcements on deadlines and targets today, but to open the debate and ensure that we do listen. The time for us to be decisive and also to make unpopular decisions will be here. It is not easy to make unpopular decisions, but unpopular decisions do not necessarily make you unpopular. The integrated energy plan with components of our master plan address electricity, gas, liquid fuels, and all elements which we will draw up for public consultation. And even though public consultation ended in March, We will further open the process for public participation, and we wish to ensure you that all voices will be heard. The electricity component or the updated integrated resource plan was separately taken through public consultation, and even this will be further opened for your inputs. The next steps involve the engagement of various government departments before finally presenting the plan to Cabinet for its consideration. This is at the heart of energy security and the question which most people have asked us for the past month since we have been in office. The second most often asked question is what is the status of the gas program and how it will help our energy security. I do not have all the answers, but with regard to the development of our gas resource, including regional gas opportunities in neighboring countries, our own shale gas resource will be absolutely explored to its maximum potential. Our gas utilization master plan has been drafted, and we will again, as you will notice, reiterate and re-emphasize stakeholder participation. Once more, we'll give you an opportunity to participate in this. I do not want to ask how we're going to keep the lights on. I wish to ask the country as a collective how we're going to keep the lights on. We are here to mainstream energy efficiency in our programs. Energy efficiency is at the center of our energy security strategy. The cost, effectiveness, and speed of deployment and job creation potential is at the center of our plans. Intervention in government buildings, public buildings, industry, and the residential sectors are pillars in the energy efficiency strategy and action plan that we recently revised. The development of the energy efficiency target monitoring system for South Africa is at an advanced stage and provides an adequate platform for quantifying the responsiveness of our energy efficiency efforts. Last year, we promulgated the energy efficiency tax incentive schemes in terms of which companies can offset their tax payment in proportion to the amount of energy they have saved and which can be independently verified. There are only two certainties in this job. The one certainty is you are going to eventually die, and the other certainty is you must pay your taxes. So if you must pay your taxes, allow us to at least offset your taxes so that you pay the Minister of the Treasury a little bit less. You didn't hear that from me. We are efficient. We'll collect more, but we'll allow you to pay us more and pay him a little less. So how are we going to address the load shedding and the problems of Eskom in the short to medium term? Eskom serves two masters, and this year Eskom serves two madams. I don't know if it's better or worse. In 2008, we experienced extensive load shedding due to a deficit in power supply. Over the past 5 years, government has progressively improved the situation by putting measures in place to mitigate the load shedding risk. 1 single hour of load shedding is an hour too much. Our country cannot afford load shedding. Transnet cannot afford load shedding. Business in the country cannot afford load shedding. An interdepartmental task, you are allowed to clap. An interdepartmental team has been set up with participation by National Treasury, the Department of Energy, Public Enterprises, the Department of Minerals, and that is why, please, it is not accidental that the Deputy Minister of Minerals is here today. Side by side with ESCOM, with the ESCOM Build program, we can announce that we are ready this month to launch the baseload coal independent power producers program in line with our integrated resource plan. This entails a bidding process to the extent of 2,500 megawatts of power plants to be built through private sector funding. The location of the power plants is to be determined by the bids we receive, and we expect that this will be largely in the coal fields of the Waterberg, in line with SIP 1 in Mpumalanga, Free State, and even in the Eastern Cape. The coal power stations under this program are expected to be commissioned before 2020. It also needs to be pointed out that power disruptions are not necessarily due to load shedding, but in some instances due to municipal infrastructure failures. Our energy security will improve once we are able to resolve municipal electricity distribution problems, including eliminating tariff discrepancies, your electricity bills, and improving revenue collection. So we'll make your bills more efficient, reduce some of your inefficient bills, but collect it more regularly. So this is a teacher, okay? So we know how to do teaching and business very well as school teachers. So the rehabilitation of infrastructure to reduce power disruptions and thus improving service delivery has become our priority. The next question that I've been asked, and please notice, I've answered your questions already, so I don't know what Peter is going to be paid for today. There's the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producers Program, improve the socio-economic circumstances in the areas where projects are implemented. We have certainly done so in the Northern Cape, and the projects from the first two rounds under the Renewable Energy Program are under construction in various provinces. I would like to thank the service providers for a job well done, and they do deserve a round of applause for this. Each developer has to be applauded for commitments around local economic development, including skills development, local enterprise development, and creating job opportunities during and after construction. Our challenge as a country would be to master the skills of young people in this sector. So the first task would be to get a very quick impression of qualified and skilled graduates who have already qualified in the sector. Graduates who are unemployed in this sector cannot afford to be unemployed. We need graduates in the sector to come to the party. The second area for development of young people would be to muster as many people, young people as possible, to send them on programs abroad. Abroad doesn't mean to Europe, in the continent, in our own continent, to become specialists and key specialists in downstream and upstream activities in the energy sector. When would be the next round of the IPPs? Window 4 under the Renewable Energy Independent Producer Program is on track for the submission of proposals, and you would like to know when. Everybody's asking me when. August 2014. I've answered that question as well, so please don't ask it again. This will be in line with the President's State of the Nation address. The scope will be for new energy generation capacity through wind, solar, photovoltaic, biomass, and hydropower technologies to the extent of 1,000 megawatts. A separate bidding round will be arranged for additional concentration solar power, or CSP. You, the experts, I'm learning. Deputy Minister and I, our learning curve has been perpendicular to our daily existence. So I'm the amateur. I'm seriously learning. When will the biofuels mandatory blending regulations become effective? As in yesterday. The blending regulations have been drafted, and they originally made provision for the utilization of sorghum as the only feedstock as a pilot in phase 1. Many of you have asked if sorghum would be the only feedstock. We'll evaluate any other products without compromising food security in our country. I reiterate, without compromising food security. Water is a scarce resource in our country, and land is equally a scarce resource. The land which you use for biofuel should be new land. We should not be using existing primary agricultural land. The water that we use should not be irrigated water, so when we do biofuels, we should do so with food security as our main priority. The rollout of solar water geysers will resume again. That is another question you'll all be asking. The solar water heater rollout program has been beset with problems, including the installation of poor quality products, poor workpersonship, and not workmanship, there were women who also did some poor work, and the crowding out of locally produced systems by imports. Government subsidies were being used to support imported products. This contradicts the objective of using the program for local job creation. South Africans have to be involved in the entire value chain of energy. Over the past year, we have corrected this by promulgating an instruction note to all public procurement officers, in terms of which the government prohibited the subsidization of solar water heaters which did not meet the local content threshold of 70%. This cannot be compromised. The content of all suppliers who will participate in the subsidized solar water heating program has to be guarded. What are the causes of the delays of the rolling out of our Clean Fuels program? The Clean Fuels 2 program envisages the liquid fuels consumer to fund the investment in cleaner refineries. Through the passing through of capital costs associated with making the refinery upgrades, this was supposed to be completed by 2017. The prevailing economic climate, however, does not allow us the luxury of time. The deteriorating rand-dollar exchange rate increases the cost of crude oil, and thus requires careful consideration of the hardship on the fuel consumer, and we have to be circumspect about overburdening the fuel consumer even further. Under these circumstances, we think it is advisable that we take more time to apply our minds to this crucial area. I am going to leave all the controversial matters, firstly, to my very competent Deputy Minister. That's very beautiful. You know, I can pass the buck. And the team of experts from the Acting Director General to Transnet will also assist because they're a very important key stakeholder. I'll also ask the experts from our state-owned enterprises to assist with answering the questions. What that simply means is that I do not know the answers. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to pass my condolences to a staff member who was stabbed very violently by her loved one, her boyfriend. Allow me to say that violence against women and children should be abhorred and rejected with the contempt it deserves. We are very sad to have lost a staff member, and our condolences to her. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, our thanks to Minister for sharing her thoughts with us and preempting a lot of our questions.